So Texas has been going through it as of late, and before I get into this, I just want to just say that thoughts and prayers to everybody that are struggling in Texas. I've heard reports that some people have passed away. That is extremely unfortunate, and I hope that these things do not persist as time goes on. Now, with that being said, a lot is unfolded. A lot is unfolded. So I've read plenty of articles and information to familiarize myself with this subject as best as I possibly can. So what's happened is Texas is getting hit with weather that they're not normally accustomed to by any stretch of the imagination. It's a winter storm of the likes that they don't normally see, and that might be an understatement. And they're not handling it very well. And I want to get into that, but more so what the right wing is trying to do as a result of that. So I want to read to you a paragraph from Catherine Treyrick. This is from a Bloomberg News article. She tweeted this out. It says, while ice has forced some turbines to shut down, just as a brutal cold wave drives record electricity demand, that's been the least significant factor in the blackouts, according to Dan Woodfin, a senior director for the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, which operates the state's power grid. The main factors: frozen instruments at natural gas, coal, and even nuclear facilities, as well as limited supplies of natural gas, he said. Natural gas pressure, in particular, is one reason power is coming back slower than expected. So what I just read to you was an explanation, a short one. It's much more complicated than this, but of what's really going on in Texas. And why did I read you that? I read you that because the people on the right, these reactionaries, they're trying to spin this before anybody can really get a hold of it, that it's progressive policies that are causing these power outages and this cold streak that the Texans are suffering from. It's the Green New Deal, something that hasn't been implemented. That's the fault of what's going on right now. That's what they're trying to push. The Texas governor went out and said, oh, it's all these fucking windmills and shit, and they're not good and they can't handle the cold. Well, there's been windmills for over a decade in Alaska. They've been doing quite fine. It's always fucking cold in Alaska. A lot colder than it is in Texas right now, I might add. Canada, the same thing. And you can actually heat those windmills so they don't experience the problems that the minor problems they've experienced here in Texas. Of course, they attribute some to the current situation, but as I just read to you, the main factors were the nuclear facilities and the coal and what have you. So my question is, why are they doing this? They're doing this, and there's a very simple explanation. It's to propagandize you. It's to make you go against the progressive policies, because the Republicans, by and large, are largely funded by the fossil fuel industry. So when Joe Biden got into office and he got rid of the Keystone Pipeline, that was a big thing. Now, he was good to get rid of that, but he didn't really alter an alternative, and we can get into that later, but a lot of people were on the right, of course, were upset about that. And they're upset about this whole new green, renewable energy thing in general, less emissions into the air. We're trying to save the fucking planet here, but they don't give a fuck about any of that. So they're pushing endless propaganda here. But what also has unfolded is something that's quite hilarious and sad, to be honest with you. So Ted Cruz, in the midst of all this, took a trip to Cancun. He got had, they found out, and social media shamed him into coming back to Texas. You heard that right. He got shamed by social media to come back to his state and serve them and help with this ordeal. But as a couple of astute people have pointed out, it wouldn't have fucking mattered either way, because Ted Cruz isn't going to do anything as it is. I mean, look, this is totally forgivable. I mean, they're gonna forget about this with time. But is Ted Cruz a shitbag? Yes, he is. We know that. His policies suck. The things that he thinks are not good. We know this about him. And what's also equally as hilarious Don Jr. came out and professed this grand statement. Why are you attacking Ted Cruz? It's not fair. You need to be attacking the Democratic governor of Texas. Oh, God. Oh, God. I think this guy is actually like one of the leaders in polling for Republicans for who they want to be the nominee in 2024. Wow. Insinuating that the governor of Texas is indeed a Democrat. What a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot, man. And as I mentioned before, or maybe I didn't, you know, with the Texas power grid, it's a very interesting situation. If you read articles on it, it'll tell you. So when other states experience things like these, they can turn to other states for assistance, basically. But Texas is kind of on an island on its own where it kind of has its own power grid, and it creates problems such as these. And as I said, they're not accustomed to dealing with this. But what I really wanted to get into in this video was the propagandizing by conservative media. So I want to read you a tweet by @PsychaTC. I really don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. PsychaTC? I don't know. But he says, people on the left don't watch conservative media. So entire false narratives in right-wing media go unchallenged. The entire right is using the Texas blackouts right now to create a narrative about the failure of green energy. It's 100% false. It needs to be challenged head on. And he's 100% right. Listen, lefties don't watch, I can say for a fact, I don't watch any corporate media at all. Like, I get my information in the world through articles, through lefty media, and, resources that make fucking sense, that don't equal Fox News or One American News Network or the like. But he's right. Like, lefties don't watch that stuff, and so their viewers take anything that they say as fact, of course. I mean, as do viewers of CNN and MSNBC. And so they can spin this rhetoric, and it can sometimes reach people that may not be a viewer or a regular viewer of Fox News, and they might see it and they might think, oh shit, really? This is what the effect of renewable energy causes? What's happening in Texas right now? And it's like, no. And I do feel like there is a disconnect here, because there has to be people that can challenge this and check it, but there aren't, because the left doesn't have an established mainstream media outlet. A lot of people like to say, well, that's MSNBC. No, the fuck it's not. MSNBC caters to the corporate Democrats and the establishment. They don't protect progressive policies. They don't defend progressive policies under any circumstance. They don't. In fact, they do the opposite. They attack them. They would attack the Green New Deal. They would attack Medicare for all and things of that nature. And it's damn sure not CNN. So I do think that is a huge disconnect. And what I was thinking of was something that's actually kind of funny, is that we should have like a designated guy or girl or whoever to just be on standby and watch Fox News all day and One American News Network and Newsmax. And whenever they say something stupid, let everybody else know, and then we'll just come out on the offensive and just knock it down. But I was thinking that that'll be pretty much torture for that one person, so that might not be a good idea. But this is what's happening in Texas. I hope that the situation gets better. It seems like it is. And typical propagandizing from the right wing.